I'm sorry if you guys see me looking. There's like something running outside and I can't see what it is, but it's like a black figure and it's making me nervous. Hey guys, it's me Jessica, aka Makeup Lovaaa, and I am here with another video. So basically this video I'm going to give you guys an update about where I am in my nursing journey and give you guys some tips regarding the TEAS test, which is the entrance exam that you have to like take in order to have like a certain score that's good for getting into nursing school. So basically, for the update in regards to where I am in my nursing program right now, I am about to finish my second term in nursing school. So my term ends in about 2 weeks, which is when I will be taking my finals. Pray to God I pass. By the time this goes up, my finals will it'll be the week of my finals or it will be after my finals. So wish me luck. Yeah, so in my next term, which would start the first week of August, the first full week, this would be the term where I would start my clinicals. But with everything going on with COVID, I unfortunately won't be able to do in-person clinicals, and we're doing what's called virtual simulation clinicals. And I'm not exactly sure what that means at this point. Unfortunately, it sucks that things can't be more hands-on, but it does feel good to know that the school as well as the hospitals and the facilities are trying to be as precautious as possible at this point, considering that numbers are starting to rise a little bit in certain areas. If you're not aware, I live in the DMV area. My school is in Alexandria, Virginia, and I go to Stratford University. Things are not the best right now as far as when it comes to nursing. Like, a lot of things we're doing are via Zoom interactions. I do have these things for this term called skills that you have to perform, which is basically skills that every nurse should know how to do, and you do have to pass these skills in order to go on to the next term and start clinicals. So certain skills that you have to learn are things like things as basic as hand washing. You have to basically show them that you know how to properly wash your hands, which everyone should know how to do, really. I would not want a nurse that did not pass their hand washing skills. And then it goes all the way up to how to make a bed for a patient, how to administer medication to a patient, because there are many different ways to administer medication, as you know, from like just pills all the way to like injections and things like that. I'm loving it. Like, I'm loving everything that I'm learning. It's been an exciting time. Pathophysiology is very demanding for anyone who is in nursing school and hasn't taken it yet. It's demanding. It's going to take up a lot of your time. So just be aware of that if you're picking other classes to take with that course. Pathophysiology is basically just the diseases, like learning diseases and how it works in the body. So it's really a comprehensive class. Like, you should know how everything works together in order to really understand how these diseases come about in the body. It's hard, and like I said, it's very time consuming, so just be careful the classes that you take with that, because you don't want to take a bunch of hard classes with that class, because I've heard many people, at least at my school, have retaken this course, and I'm hoping I will not be one of them. Clinicals next term, finishing this term strong. I'm excited for all the things that are to come, and I'm still loving being in nursing school. It's demanding again, and again, it's hard, but if you really put your mind to it and you focus, you can get through. And I'm not a full-time worker at this point, but I'm working majority. Like, I work a little over 30 hours a week. So I'm pretty close to full-time, and I'm still taking these classes. So I'm pretty impressed with myself that I've been able to do it this far. This is the first term that I've been back at work, and it's been more challenging than before. It's been more time consuming, and I'm tired all the time. I'm surprised I'm even able to have a social life through all this, but it is possible, and I've been able to do it. So the one thing you cannot tell yourself is that you can't do it, or that it's not possible, or you can't find a way through. You know, I told myself a lot of things, trying to make excuses. Nursing school is expensive. Nursing school is time consuming. I'm not going to be able to work. And you just have to find your way through. If you keep making excuses, it may not be something that you really want to do. So you need to ask yourself at the end of the day, do you want to go back to school? Do you think that you can make the sacrifices that you're going to have to make, like having less of a social life and being really tired and still pushing through even when it doesn't feel like it's worth it? These are questions I ask myself every day. And in the end, I feel like I'm doing really good considering. So I'm really proud of myself. And you can't be afraid to be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Go shopping. Celebrate yourself when you do a good job, because that will push you to keep doing better and keep moving further. So now we can get into the TEAS test. So basically, I know it's different for every state. Some states have the HESI and some states have the TEAS, and sometimes it's not even really based on state. Sometimes it's just based on your school. I had a couple schools here that asked for the HESI or the TEAS, and a lot of schools just preferred the TEAS. So I didn't even worry about the HESI. I did take the HESI when I first applied to nursing school when I went to George Mason University. If you haven't seen my previous nursing video about my nursing journey and how I even got into nursing school, I will link that over here for you to watch. I think this video will make more sense if you watch that video, because I kind of talked about my journey into getting into nursing school and how much of a struggle it was for me, because I did have a low GPA before I got in. So basically, the TEAS test is a kind of like an entrance exam for nursing school. It basically is testing you on 4 subjects that you should have already taken all the courses in order to know the basic information that's in that test. So you have 4 sections, and it's reading, writing, math, and science. And for a lot of the schools, I'm just going to speak mostly for Virginia because those were the schools that I applied to the most. So the science category was not really a big factor because you are going to be taking a lot of science courses in nursing school anyway. So even if you don't do the best on the science portion, a lot of my schools didn't even look at the science score, because again, you're going to be learning all those things in your classes anyway. So by the time you graduate from your nursing degree, you should already have that knowledge, and it will probably be more put in with your NCLEX, which is at the end of your nursing education, than the beginning. Next is the math. Again, math I think was like the second section that did matter. You did have to have a certain score, and I got a pretty high score. I almost got a perfect score actually, because I'm pretty good in math. I got in the 90 range. I think I got like a 92 or a 95. I did really good on that. It's all basic math stuff. So if you've taken like a high school algebra, anything like that, you should be fine as long as you did well in your high school math classes. If you are the type of person who struggles at math, you definitely should take time to do some practice tests on the ATI website, or you can even just Google like TEAS test math section practice quizzes, like stuff like that. I definitely did that, not for math, but I did that for the reading section, which I'll talk about in a second. As far as science, I don't remember my score in science because, again, none of the schools that I was applying to really needed the science section. They didn't require it, so I didn't really focus a lot on the science. I don't even think I scored that high on it because a lot of the stuff that I learned that was in the TEAS test was from classes that I've taken like over 5 years ago, so that stuff is not in my head right now. But again, it didn't really matter for me because those scores were not what the schools were looking for that I applied to. Next is the writing portion, and the writing portion is more about grammar and spelling, which again, I'm really good at spelling, I'm really good at grammar. I wasn't really worried about that section and I did pretty well on it. I think I got in the high 70s or high 80s, which is what I needed for a lot of my schools. Every school is going to have a different range of a score that they want you to hit, or they're going to give you a minimum that you can hit to even qualify for the nursing school. and you never want to just hit the number that you need to qualify. You want to get over that number. Even if it's only a couple points, don't be afraid to apply. Anything over the minimum is better than just hitting the minimum. Lastly is probably the most important section that a lot of schools are going to look at, and that's the reading. And for me, that was the hardest section because the questions can be very confusing and they are kind of like, I think, made to trip you up a little bit, which I kind of hate. And for me, I think a lot of people did well on the reading, but then they did not do very well on the math. And I was opposite. I did really well on math and I did not do good in the reading. Basically, I took the reading, and the first time I think you needed a 75 or a 78 as the minimum for a lot of the schools in my area, and I did not qualify for that for the first time I took the TEAS test. And so I had to end up retaking the TEAS test. And then the second time I like missed it by like a couple points. I think I got a 74 the second time I took it. I did a bunch of the ATI practice tests, and you do have to purchase those, so just know that if you don't want to spend money on the ATI test, you can always Google and search. There are even YouTube videos about how to get good scores on the TEAS test, which I watched a ton of YouTube videos. Some of them were not helpful. Like, some people were like, oh, I didn't even study for the TEAS test, and I was like, why are you making this video then? I'm confused. So be careful. Make sure you read the titles of these videos about ones that are really going to help you, like how to do well on the reading section of the TEAS test. Like, don't spend the whole time watching a video about how to do good on a whole TEAS test. If you already know that you did good on certain sections, just focus on the section you really need help with, because that's what I did. And I did flashcards. I did the ATI test, which I think were like $80 or something like that. And then I also did practice tests. I literally just Googled ATI reading practice tests, I searched TEAS reading section practice tests, and I did those over and over again until I felt like I did well. Don't let this test overwhelm you. It is basic knowledge. Like, a lot of the stuff, if you've already taken your entry level college classes and you finished high school with a good grade and a good understanding of the comprehension in the school, then you should do well. Don't let this TEAS test like freak you out. It's basically like a glorified SOL test, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I let it psych me out the first time I took it, and it was really very basic. Just study hard and, really focus on what you need to learn, and you'll do good. But yeah, so that's how everything's going with my nursing school. I hope this video was helpful. I tried to make it on a little bit of a shorter side, and then next time we will talk about something new. And each time I'm going to just discuss a little bit of how to help you guys get into a nursing program. And I just hope these videos are helpful. If you think they are, please like this video. And if this has inspired you to even apply, don't forget to comment, because I love reading you guys' comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, I'm Jessica, aka makuplovaaa, and this may have not been a makeup video, but I hope it was helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next one.